What's going on, y'all? It's Derek J407, aka Best Heel Ever, here to give you my review of this week's episode of Lucha Underground. Haven't been here in 2 weeks to review Lucha Underground. That's because I was off doing other stuff and didn't have time to watch Lucha Underground that week or the week before. But this week I made time to watch this week's episode of Lucha Underground when the finish got spoiled for me, that being Fenix winning the Lucha Underground Championship at the end of the show. He beat Mil Muertes. Well, I didn't get a chance to review the last couple of weeks of Lucha Underground, but I did watch. Like last week I watched because that match between Mil Muertes, Prince Puma, and Pentagon Jr., just phenomenal. Just a great triple threat, already putting it on the list of one of my favorite matches of the year. Not my favorite, it's like top 5 maybe, but I only have 5 really so far, but still top 5. But yeah, so I saw last week, and then Phoenix, not cashing in, but handing over his Gift of the Gods title that he won the previous week before that. So yeah, everything's set up for this show. And yeah, it got spoiled for me a few days ahead of time, but I still wanted to watch it, and I like the show. I enjoy the show. I enjoy the show every week. You got your ups and downs, and this week it was a pretty good show. So we start things off somewhere in the locker room. Phoenix is getting ready, and then we hear Katrina's voice. She's talking, and of course the lights flicker off and they come back on, and she's there. She's the fucking devil, apparently. She was talking about how, I've done everything I could to try to kill the Phoenix, and I just couldn't do it. And she got all up close up on Phoenix, and she was talking about how, she wonders if she made a mistake, choosing Mil over Phoenix. She wonders, this power that he has. She wonders, if she could get some of that, and she ended up kissing him. And Phoenix, he ain't stop it. But then again, despite everything that she did to him, if you were in his position, you'd probably do the exact same thing, I'm sure. But whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that was really it. She probably said more after that, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. That was a hot kiss. Anyway, well, she basically said that Mil is still gonna beat him, so it's like, yeah, I kissed you, but like that was the last kiss because Mil is gonna take care of you later on. So the first match was for the Trios Championship. It was Angelico, Son of Havoc, and Ivelisse challenging the Disciples of Death. And Ivelisse, she met with Katrina last week, and she got the match, but with the stipulation that if Son of Havoc, Angelico, and Ivelisse lost, then they would leave the temple forever. So you knew that wasn't going to happen. Even if it did, it's wrestling. Stipulations don't last. Those kinds of stipulations don't last that long, so you knew it wouldn't be too long before they'd be back. But they got the freaking Aztec Warfare coming up next week, so they're gonna need as many guys in there as possible, and I'm sure these 3 will have a spot in there. So of course they didn't get fired. In fact, they won pretty dominantly here. There was points where the Disciples of Death, they had Katrina out there with them, but I think she walked out there with them. I don't remember seeing her throughout the entire match though. But nonetheless, they had their bright spots, but in the end, Son of Havoc, I think he hit like a shooting star, and then Angelico pinned one of them, and they won their belts back. And then later on in the night, I don't know if he did or not, but it certainly looked like Mil basically killed them, because he was throwing them all up against the lockers and all that kind of stuff backstage in the locker room, and then Katrina came in, and she because he had like the last one by the throat, and she told him like spare him, and Mill just threw him into the locker anyway, and she was like or not, and then they walked out, went to his title match, and didn't hear from them again. So I'm pretty sure they're dead. I'm sure they're dead. I doubt we'll see them again, but you never know. They might come in handy. I don't know. They seem to be dead. Then we had so after the babyfaces won their titles, we had another backstage little promo video there. It was Prince Puma. He was working out, punching a punching bag. Johnny Mundo came in. He had his boxing gloves on, just sparring in the air and that kind of stuff. And he was just talking to Puma about Aztec Warfare next week. And he was talking about how, last year I went a little soft on you, but nah, it ain't going to happen this time. I'm going to be the one to win and get my shot at the Lucha Underground Championship. And just talking a whole bunch of shit. He eventually left. And then Puma, who was punching the bag basically the entire time Mundo was talking, once Mundo left, he just punched the bag and punched a hole through it. I once tried that. It did not happen. Anyway, moving on. We had another segment, but it was off far away in some other place. It was we returned to see Rey Mysterio with Dragon Azteca Jr. And Rey gave him an envelope. He opened it up, and it showed that Dragon Azteca Jr. had been invited to the temple to participate in Dragon Azteca just got invited to be in Dragon Azteca. No, he got invited to participate in Aztec Warfare. God, I cannot talk today. So Rey told him that his training's over and all that kind of stuff, and that he has something to prove, that being Dragon Azteca Jr. But then Rey revealed an envelope of his own, which is his own little invitation, and he said he has something to prove next week too. So they toasted to tequila, and that was the end of that. So we get to see this Dragon Azteca Jr. Wrestle next week, but more importantly, Rey Mysterio is going to be wrestling next week. He's going to be in Aztec Warfare as well, and I don't know. Yeah, so we finally get to see the debut of Rey Mysterio next week, so very much so looking forward to that. Then we had a bull rope match between Texano and Chavo Guerrero. The crew, Cisco and Cortez, they were out there with Chavo at first, and he told them to get in the ring and, attack Texano. They left, basically playing up the story like, every time Chavo does that, they end up getting in there trying to take out Texano, and they end up getting their asses kicked. So this time, they got off the apron, and they went to the back, never to be seen or heard from again. I thought maybe it was all going to be a swerve, and they were going to come out in the end and still screw Texano over, but nope. Didn't happen. We ain't see him anymore. So it was just straight up Texano and Chavo in a bull rope match. I usually don't really like these matches, bull ropes or chain matches and that kind of stuff, that ties the opponent's, arms and wrists together, strap matches, that kind of stuff. I'm usually not a fan of them. I mean, sometimes they can be okay, but really, most of the times they're not all that great. WWE, when they do like their chain matches and stuff, or their strap matches, and you gotta touch all four corners of the ring, that bullshit, yeah, I don't like that. Just do it fucking pinfall or submission like we had here. Like, I mean, I guess that's the difference between a bull rope match and a chain match, but I don't know. They're the same fucking thing. So I would think, just pinfall or submission. You can use the fucking rope and other shit. Like, I don't know why you gotta touch all four corners of the ring, because that shit is so stupid, but whatever. They did it right here, as Lucha Underground tends to do. They do the Royal Rumble better than WWE does the Royal Rumble in recent years with their Aztec Warfare. Last year's Aztec Warfare was better than the Royal Rumble that year, and the year before that, and the year before that. I don't know how it's going to be this year, because this year we actually got a good Royal Rumble match, so I don't know how Aztec Warfare, if it'll be better or worse. I'm sure it'll be better. sure it'll be better than last year's. I'm sure it might be better than the Royal Rumble this year, but I don't know. But yeah, like Lucha Underground, they do the Royal Rumble better than WWE. They do the casket match better than WWE between Mil Muertes and Fenix last year. And they do bull rope slash chain slash strap matches better than WWE does because you actually pin or make your opponent submit. And that's exactly what Texano did. They had a back and forth match. It was alright. But in the end, Texano laid out Chavo with the sit out powerbomb and got the pinfall. And after the match, he just started whooping him with the rope some more until they cut away. So Texano got his revenge. I said it before, I'll say it again. I would love to see Texano in WWE because if they're looking for the next big Latino star, and I know they are, they're looking for any kind of race. If they could find a nice black star or Chinese star or Japanese star, they will do it, you know? And Latino star, they've been trying to look for one for years, and I think they have one in Texano if they can scoop him up. But I don't know. I'm sure he's still under contract with, AAA and probably signed on Lucha Underground for a couple more seasons. But still, I would love to see him eventually get in WWE. Not NXT. I mean, he could start out in NXT, but eventually get on the main roster and, be pushed as your top Latin star. I think he could thrive in that role. Plus, I would love to see another Texano Alberto Del Rio feud. Because the matches that I saw between them and AAA and the matches on this show, Lucha Underground, last year, were pretty good. So I would like to see those continue in WWE. Then, I talked about Mil Muertes killing the Disciples of Death. But then we also had, we got to go back to that warehouse where Dario Cueto and Black Lotus are. And I think he told Black Lotus it's time to go back to the temple or something like that because he got out his key and he unlocked the whatever the fucking crate or warehouse wherever it was that his brother Matanza was on eating people. And then he opened the gate, he opened the door, and out walks this huge, bigger than Mil Muertes motherfucker. He comes out just thick arms, tall as fuck, got the whole mask and all that kind of stuff, and he's wearing this almost Jason Voorhees like outfit. He got blood all over him and shit. It looked impressive. He looks impressive, and I was expecting Matanza to look a little more frightening than this, but this was enough. The blood was a nice touch. A little bit goofy, but that's Lucha Underground. I still love it for that. So he's coming out, and guess they're going to be taking their temple back. And then we ended with the Lucha Underground Championship. It was Fenix and Mil Muertes. Their matches from last year, their Grave Consequences match, their last Luchador standing match, all that stuff, all that was great stuff. And so it was kind of weird seeing them just straight up wrestling, although that didn't last long because they eventually brought in steel chairs and stuff. But you had your typical Fenix, Mil Muertes spots, Mil trying to rip off Fenix's mask, busted him open, biting at the wound like a cannibal, like some Hannibal Lecter shit. Just beating the fuck out of Fenix, and Fenix, doing a bunch of dives and, flips and kicks and that kind of stuff, coming back. He, at one point, ripped off the top of Mil's mask and, revealed his long hair. And I gotta tell you, the way Mil was looking with his hair all out and shit, plus him talking a few weeks ago, it kind of killing them, the badassness of Mil Muertes. So, I don't know. But it was still cool. They wrestled a little bit longer. In the end, Mil was going for a flatliner, and Fenix countered it into this crazy cradle. And he got the cradle pin victory over Mil. He won the title. Big celebration. He jumped out. Well, not big, but he jumped out, into the crowd and all that kind of stuff. The believers. And held up his championship. Only about 15, 20 seconds later, Katrina gets in the ring, she gets a microphone, and she tells him, like, celebrate now, but next week, Aztec Warfare, because originally Aztec Warfare was going to be where the winner gets a shot at the Lucha Underground Championship. But no, Katrina changed it. And she says that next week, Aztec Warfare will be for the Lucha Underground Championship. And she said that Fenix will be coming out at number 1 and Mil Muertes will be coming out at number 20. So, I don't know what Roman Reigns is going to do in the Royal Rumble match when he has to defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. This is Lucha Underground. And it's Fenix defending his Lucha Underground Championship in Aztec Warfare. And he'll be coming out at number 1. And the big heel seeking revenge on him will be coming out at number 20. Completely different. Despite, I ain't even trying to knock it for that, because it's like, it worked with WWE, and I'm sure it'll work with Lucha Underground. I really enjoyed Aztec Warfare last year, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it this year as well. This time for the Lucha Underground Championship. Fenix is coming out at number 1. Dude just won the title. Now the next week he has to defend it against 19 other guys. But I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it, and you should too. So I guess I'll see you then. This was another good show, but I'm really looking forward to next week though.